Beautiful. Morning, good morning.
Sure.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning to you. Thank you for coming. Nice to see you. Have been 7 days. We're working on it. It's how's that? Well, just in Argentina, we'll make a trip down there. You get the thousand. Don't want to go there. No, thousand wants to do last night.
It'd be a beautiful wedding. It'd be on the beach. It'd be a really nice place.
Javier Milei will come also.
Yeah.
Javier Milei, the president.
He's another one. God bless him.
Vorige tijd Nederland, maar dan gaan we bij Pleits.
Amen. Israelis, there'll be some fireworks.
Huh?
Israelis will do some fireworks.
Exactly. Hey, sure.
Yeah, where is it? There it always try it out.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
Vorige tijd in Nederland, maar dan gaan we schakelen. Okay. Good morning. Hayom Kotzer, V'Malocha Meruba. You ever see workers working these days when the boss is not around? You really see what the mission is saying. They're sitting until the boss comes and the poilim is atzelim. The balabayis is doichet. The Rabbani Shalom is the balabayis. And he knows it's our benefit that we shouldn't have every moment that we're alive is so special. And this morning we find out that there was an unbelievable miracle that happened yesterday, Shabbos, from the time of Malava Malka in Eretz Yisrael. There's a shul of Sabonim, and it's funny, of Sabonim, like, Matzah Shabbos and Flatfish. Most shuls like us too, they have a beautiful of Sabonim, pizza and bagels and all kinds of nice things and the stories. And there's a shul in Haifa called Avos Abonim. They finished davening and they finished their Avos Abonim, and everyone went home. Mamish, a short time later, a Hezbollah Yamach Shemam drone or rocket hit the shul, and the entire shul is destroyed. Rachman Latzlan, it hit the shul a little earlier. The shul was full. Just a little earlier. The entire shul is destroyed, and not the shot, a small hole in the wall. The entire shul is destroyed. It's unbelievable mess. We see Leonim, Belish, and Simon Yisrael. And
we miss him every minute in Israel. Every minute.
We're very minute, but we have to do the right thing also. And Toida, Avoida, and Milas Pasadim, and obviously those that accept making decisions in Israel, the Rebbe Shalom gave them now on a silver platter an opportunity. And hopefully they'll use out the opportunity without all kinds of silly talks about making a ceasefire. We don't need a ceasefire. If they want to hold their fire, they could hold their fire. Not a problem. The terrorists could hold their fire. If they'll hold their fire, we won't fire on them. But going into silly agreements that would just kick the can down the road for the next round, which Rahman al-Islam would be much more difficult for us. Hopefully they do the right thing. And Sa'akir, Shabbos, Maghrib, in every way. So all the powers. The truth is, it's good for it's when, there's a ton of Arabs around the world that are praying for our success because they want peace. They want quiet. There's there's tons of villages in Lebanon. They want Israel to be strong. They want Israel to have a decisive victory once and for all, and that's it. They don't want a quagmire going on for 100 years. That's not what they want. They want Israel to have a decisive victory. They can't go out and say that because they're scared that Israel is not going to do so. And then they're vulnerable. But they're praying for our victory. So hopefully their prayer and our prayer will be accepted. Okay. I want to go back to something I left off last time we had a sheet. It was a little bit loose in the edges. And Demesis, I myself looked again in the sugya. We spoke about the malacha, one of the 39 malachas, the malacha of memach, which is that the animal, there's sod, and then the shoichet, and then there's ma'abed, and so on, and then there's mamashik at the end, the last thing, when they had in the Mishkan, the oidus elam adam and oidus choshen, and the last thing, after the leather was almost ready, they would take a sharp razor, and they would shave off all the hairs or imperfections on the leather, and that's one of the lamatas malachas mamachik. We don't find the poskim should talk that much about mamachik, because how many people here own a tannery? So they don't talk that much about mamachik. However, in the past 100 years, probably because of the advent of petroleum jelly, and which is a base for so many other creams, and be it as it may, just the fact that now we produce a lot of creamy stuff. There's products that are creamy and that didn't exist. So now the poskim are talking about what, we spoke about: creams on the hand, creams on the body, medicines, toothpaste, soap, lotion, deodorant, roll-ons, on and on and on and on. The store is filled with such products, and they all go into the question of memachik. In general, I mean, what's the isra of memachik? You can look at it in two ways. Sur me'ra v'asei tov. There's sur me'ra. You can say that the malacha is taking off the imperfection, or you could say it's v'asei tov. It's making the surface to be smooth. So even if there's no imperfections to take away, but just the fact that you're making a surface smooth, so that's already called the malacha of mamachik. As I mentioned last time, there are poskim that are very, very machmir on this. For example, there's a short shub from Moshe Feinstein who says that if you're using toothpaste, that's mamachik. He doesn't explain if he thinks it's mamachik. Deraisa, derabon. Just says, good morning. So we spoke about five kulas in memachik. We spoke about 5 kulas in the malacha of memachik. 5 leniencies, 5 kula. 5 leniencies in the malacha of memachik. The first is if it's watery, so it's not memachik. It's if it's how watery is watery, and how rough is rough, and how watery is watery, and that's the big question when it comes to memachik. We'll talk about it in a second. Second one is if it's going to go into your skin, it's not staying on the surface. The third was if you just dab it on and you don't smear it. The fourth was if you put it on but you wash it off a minute later, like the toothpaste soap, you're washing it on and you're planning to leave it there to try to sort of smooth out some surface, you wash it off 3 minutes later. And the fifth, if you didn't accomplish anything, you didn't make it more smooth. It was a bar of soap, for example. It was smooth. Now you took off 2%. It was smooth, and now it's smooth. It just 2% went off.
And basically, does it apply also to washing the dishes with cold water on Shabbos?
Yeah, for sure. That's what we're talking about. If you could use liquid soap. Yeah. So these are the 5 things we spoke about. Now, I want to go back to a few of the points. First is let's just read a little piece over here from the Piskei Teshuvos. The Piskei Teshuvos is a terrific sefer. Rav Eliezer Rabinovich, who lives in Yerushalayim, in Ramat Shlomo, beautiful neighbor in Yerushalayim, and he took basically the Mishnah Berurah, and he goes to say the Mishnah Berurah. He's sort of a new Shari Tshuva. He's the latest and the best cheat sheet for every dove that needs to find halacha. So terrific sefer. It's called Piskei Teshuvos. By now, he's constantly redoing his what's called. So it's still being published. So he's constantly coming out with new and revised. And I don't think he even finished his entire malacha, but it's a terrific sefer. It's very, very used today. Okay, so let's just look over here. Binyan isem mareach kake ozen v'chomer uplastalina. What is plastalina? Bandages?
No.
Maza plastilina.
It's a thing that the kids playing to build up. It's like a
Play-Doh?
Play-Doh.
Play-Doh? Okay. Toda. Umishchot v'sabon nozli. Okay. Sif Yud Aleph in Shulchan Aruch, also liten Scheibe, Shemen, Av, Benek, Vachovis, Lesosme, V'nei Shume Mareach. Not allowed to put Scheibe, wax, or Shemen Av, thick Shemen, into the hole of a chavis, because that's called Mamareach. Mareach Scheibe now is the words of Rabbi Rabinovich. Mamareach Scheibe, Chela, V'shumim, Shadvarim, Mismarch, Hashiach, L'kadem, 5 minutes, Teure, Mishumim Machik. Beklal ze botzek v'chemer uplastalina. Okay, yoytze v'zeh. That's one of the lamates malachas. Shemenav, very thick shemen. Chen shor sugi hamishkelt refuyot v'kosmetiot limineim shemehem oiv v'smichut isem meruchem ederabonon. If it's very, very thick, and you smear it, you over isa derais. If it's medium, how thick is thick and how medium is medium? So we'll talk about in a minute. If it's medium, it's only Issa the Rabbanon. The gods are coming, giving Shashach Bek Tzas Meruch, Otzalach Lufi, V'lemeroyach Gam, Shaiv V'kadoim. Chum said, today you're gonna smear Vaseline, and tomorrow you're gonna be smearing Shaiva. So they said, they said not only it's also to smear Shaiva, but also Vaseline. Ubedova Melech Zeda. At least Rabinovich thinks so. So Bedova Shaderech Lemeroyach Lahachlik. Also, it's also to smear it, you're not allowed to dab it. If it's also to smear, you're not allowed to dab it. Zayda, today you'll dab it, tomorrow you'll smear it.
Yeah, but amazing. But these are a lot of these are if it's some medicine, then for sure it's not usually it's an issue of medicine, no?
Medicine is a separate issue. We'll get to that in a minute.
So if these are medicinal.
Well, we're talking all about things that are not medicinal. Over the counter, things that regular people use.
That's Tracy, you got a cut. I don't know. Someone got the.
Yeah, let's talk about things that are totally not medicinal. And the medicinal, because medicinal is a separate issue. You're not allowed to you're not allowed to do things that are medicinal. So in order to use a product that's medicinal, you have to.
It's a point. If it's extreme, if you need it, then you have to.
As I explained last week, so you have one of the two extremes, and so maybe sometimes you want to blend both of them, even though it's a little funny. You could say that this is healthy people, this is a cream, or this is a food that healthy people eat. And then the other extreme is, if it's not a michush b'yalma, it's not just a little paper cut, a pain, but it's the whole body is sick. So then we're makel, and you're allowed to use the medicine, even though there's exed of shechikas hamamonim, when your whole body is sick. So sometimes you could blend both. Sometimes there'll be a product.
Healthy people eat.
Huh?
Healthy people eat and
or smear on their skin, and then I'm joking, but I'm saying you use both. It's like which one you're talking from two sides of your mouth. But I'm saying the two things that a person would always, the two main akudis would look at using a product in Shabbos when there's a question of shchikas hamamonim, that it's a medicine. So the best, or in the two extremes, the best way is to say this is not a medicine. Healthy people use it, just like with toothpaste. You see in earlier Shabbos Teshuvos that people talk about, maybe it's shchikas hamamonim, but the answer is today, toothpaste. Every normal person uses toothpaste not because as a medicine, use it as preventive medicine. We want to not chas v'shalom have problems with our gums and our teeth. That's why we brush our teeth. So any product which to begin with is Michael Briam, or a product that Briam use, or alternatively, the opposite side of the spectrum. Last week, 2 weeks ago, we were talking about people that have cellulitis and Lashon. It's a very Yiddish chassidish machla. It's a badge of honor. So what do you do? So it's a very painful thing. So there's creams, all kinds of Haimisha creams. So okay, so then that's taka. That's a sakona. That's not a sakona, but it's a choili in the whole goof. Okay.
Rabbi is saying about memareach in Hebrew, when you take hummus, you take pita bread. He said, "Ani moreach hummus."
Yeah.
From the same
yeah
memareach.
Yeah. Okay. So Before we go further, let's just look in order 115 and 116. The first point was he says that there is basically three types of consistencies of creams. There is very heavy duty is also the Raisa, if you're Mareach. Medium is also the Rabbonim, and soft is Mutter. So 115, we should be a Moshe. Shemeoive Mishchas Vaseline Olamata, Eine Begede Memareach. Vaseline and lower than Vaseline is not Memareach. Funny thing is, he says Desitin is Memareach. I'm not sure that Vaseline and Desitin, that one is more, it's like an enigma to me to know the difference between Vaseline and Desitin.
It's more of a paste, no?
You need to have a go and otzum to know the difference.
Babies.
They're both the same thing.
Is it for the babies? For the
Desitin is for the baby. It's when you're asking this question, you're saying that you hadn't changed the pamper for a little while. I also almost forgot what Desitin is. Yes. For me, it's like 6 years since I've changed the pamper, but now I'm changing it again. It's the Eineklat. So I learned again I'm learning again how to apply Desitin. So because the acid in the pamper from especially from the Meidaglayim, it could burns the baby a lot. Especially today, we have good pampers, so it doesn't just leak out; it stays there, and they get red, and they could sometimes even get sores. Destin is a very, very good cream that you apply, and if it already has it, or even just a lot of parents will just always put it on routinely. The consistency of Vaseline and Destin is literally the same. So I'm not sure why Tzina thought that Desitin is called heavy and
No.
There's all kinds of Desitin.
No, in the summertime, it's hot. It might.
There's a Desitin product today that you plug it in, and it's always so soft that they make it so it's
heats up.
Rabbi, we were more makel for the baby than for
okay, let's read weiter. Let's read. Bebeis Yosef Kosav Nidali Shemishcha Zuhi Raka Be Yosef de Lashayich Be Miruach. A lot of people think the Vaseline is also, and they bring the Beis Yosef says the Mishcha Zuhi Raka. He talk about Shemen. The Beis Yosef says that oil you're allowed to. Chazal say you're allowed to put oil on your skin on Shabbos. Does Miruach. So he says because it is Raka Be Yosef, it's very soft. Lashayich Be Miruach. This sentence alone is not a question, really. Soft, very soft, very compared to what? Compared to Shaiva. I don't see in these words anything. And this we're going to deal with. And the next piece is page 116. He says that if you're not allowed to smear it, you're not allowed to dab it. How do I know that? Because we find that the Alter Rebbe and Mishnah Berurah says it. Sorry, the Alter Rebbe never said it, and Mishnah Berurah never said it. Never said it. Mishnah Berurah never said it. He thinks that the Alter Rebbe and Mishnah Berurah said if you dab it on, it's also. Now, this is a very big cool. I always tell people, when people ask me, including about Desitin, even though I really don't think that Desitin is, I'm in my mind, I'm anointed to think that Desitin is muter gomu, smear it, but still. Moshe Feinstein says it's awesome. So
wait, the baby's in pain on Shabbos?
Talking about the baby's in pain. So what to do? You can't do a lot of their eyes because the baby's in pain. So I always tell people, dab it on. People ask me about all kinds of products. Dab it on. Because I think, it's bulletproof. Eitzah. Bulletproof. The whole idea of miruach is you're smearing and you're making a surface straight. But you're dabbing, you're not making anything straight. Try it out. You come home, take any type of cream product that you use, and instead of smearing it, go like this. You'll see the surface is different. It's not smooth. So that's what I always tell people. So the Rabbi Rabinovich thinks that I'm wrong. It's Befedish, the Alter Rebbe says, if you're not allowed to smear it, you're not allowed to dab it. I'm sorry. No, not wrong. Let's turn the page. Let's look at the No, that doesn't say it. Mishnah doesn't say it. He learned the Alter Rebbe wrong. You learned the Mishnah Rebbe wrong. Huh?
Not true. It's not accurate that when it comes to especially a baby and minor ailments considered they consider a hold.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be allowed to do a Issa de Raisa so quickly.
baby have to be in such pain.
Mhm.
Back rash is not such a pain.
Yeah. So let's read the Gemara. Bottom line is, what I'm trying to prove today was two things, and then my main thing is, which I'm most confident about, is that dabbing is not a problem. That dabbing is not a problem.
The reason that is not a problem is because the surface is not.
Yeah, because you're not going to make later, when you go with your finger like this, that's the issur. The issur that Rabbanan is. The Raisa issur is that you're making a smooth surface. Just like with the skin, when you took off the imperfection and made a smooth surface. Liquid is not to take off the imperfection. Liquid is the making a smooth surface. So when you're doing like this, you're dabbing. You're not making a smooth surface. It's 100% mutter. That's what I'm trying to accomplish today. That's my main accomplishment. If I have other,
And this is a tool of tanning, the tannery.
yes, not a tool. This is this is the problem. The problem is that a lot of poskim are very worried that it's a malacha de rice. Talking about malacha de rabbanon. Let's read the Mishnah. The Mishnah says, huh?
Which one is more right?
Me machik. Smoothing out the skin.
Yeah.
Smoothing out the skin.
Eraser in Hebrew is mochek.
Okay, machik.
Eraser.
Memachik. Mishnah. If the barrel had a hole in it, you're not allowed to put shaiva there. Don't even know what the words of the Mishnah means. Because he might be memareach or he is memareach. What does the Mishnah mean? I'm not sure. Amar Yehuda.
I think it's a software.
Amar Yehuda. Let's read till the end. Amar Yehuda. Ma'asel bol lifnei Rabbi Yochanan. 1 second. Ma'asel bol lifnei Rabbi Yochanan Mazaka ba'Arav. Was a story that Rabbi Yochanan Mazaka had in the country called Arav. Arav is Saudi Arabia. What? Which country? And Arav in Arabia. And he said, what's the problem? When you're doing miruach, that's the malacha of memachik. Memachik really means that you're taking a razor and you take off the hairs. Miruach is, like you said, you take hummus and you take a piece of bread and you memareach. But memareach is mishum memachik because the understanding here is that the point is not taking away the imperfection. The point is that we're straightening out the surface. Out of Medina, it's a country, Arabia. Chatos Shema Mirach Hashaiva Ladoifka Bedoifna Klisavanek. Maybe so. The story what happened was that the person put, the way Rashi is learning, the person put shaiva in the nekev, and Rabbi Yochanan said, "Choshesheni loy mechatos." I'm scared this guy has to bring a kar mechatos.
Nekev is
Loida,
hole.
yeah, Lachoida. It's unusual lashon. Rabbi Yochanan usually never had a doubt what the halach is. What kind of funny lashon is? You, Rabbi Yochanan, don't know halachas? What's going on, man? Go back to Cheder and learn. No, so Rashi explains, means I'm not sure. The guy says he only put the shaiva, but from putting to smearing is a half a nanosecond. It's a half a cotton picking second. You don't even realize. You think you put it and you already smeared it a little bit. So he's telling me, the Mishnah says, Lo yitin. V'hu nasa. That man put it in and he claims that he was not memareach. But that's the way I'm reading Rashi, and that's the way I think Rashi is reading the Gemara. And the reason I'm explaining it so well is because it will be very relevant in Halacha in a moment. 1 second. Zog the Gemara. Ima in a kuvid, there's a hole. Zog the Gemara mishcha. If it was not shayv, it was mishcha. It was a heavy cream. And have also shmol shari. Man the also is in shum shayv. Man the shari like is in amalei shmol bar chon Rabbi Yosef befedik amal mishmei derav mishcha shari. Didn't you say it's a mutter? But the poskim say it's also. Rashi says mishcha is shemen av. Asur li meroyach. Ran says mishcha los shemen ava bedoifne achav v'sav v'anekef. Now, I haven't seen any achronim expound on this, and it's appellate to me. But I'm asking you, look at the words of Rashi and the Ran again, and tell me if they're saying the same thing or they're saying very differently. Rashi says, also limroyach. Ran says, what is asur? It's asur losus shemen ava bedoifne achav v'sav v'anekef. Seems to me a major machlokes between Rashi and the Ran. Rashi said, what's the gzeira? What did we say is asur? The Rav said, today you're going to put Vaseline, tomorrow you're going to put shaiva. So you know what? It's also l'mareach shaiva. The Rabbanan said it's also l'mareach Vaseline. Doesn't say that. Ran says you could smear Vaseline, it's no problem. It's a different issue. You're not allowed to put a bunch of Vaseline in the hole of the chavetz. And I understand why Rashi disagrees with the Ran, why the Ran disagrees with Rashi.
So on wax you're talking about?
Yeah, wax is something very heavy. Very, 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 very heavy wax. I mean, you see, like we have sometimes beeswax candles, right? Even if it's not as hard as the beeswax candles, the bees you could buy it. When they take out the honey, you could buy the rolls of the beeswax, and you could make you can make arts and crafts with it. A lot of the Chabad schools sometimes, Chabad shluchim will make like Hanukkah time. They'll make they'll call people in the community for making for arts and crafts. So you buy these boxes, you can buy it on Amazon, and then you get with it the wicks, and then you have the kids roll it up, smush it with their hand, and they made their own beeswax candles, right? So that's a pretty rough surface. Vaseline is much softer. So Mina Toide Memarech is only on Shaiva. The Rabbanon says Memarech is also on something which is Sheminav like Vaseline. That's what Rashi says. But if you want to put Vaseline in the neck of a chovis, Rashi has no problem with that. The Ran is the opposite. The Ran says no one's gonna make a mistake between Vaseline and Shaiva. That's not what the Rabbanon had a problem with. The Rabbanon had a problem with something else. The Rabbanon said that if you have a hole in the chavis, you're not allowed to put there a piece of wax. Why? Because as soon as you're going to put it, in a half a second, you're going to already smear it. We have a klal that we don't make exeda unless it's kuli chod exeda. Chazal never make exeda to exeda to exeda. So l'chayrev, Chazal said you're not allowed to put in beeswax in the hole. Maybe you're going to smear it. So that's as much as the Chazal goes. Who gave them the right to be goes more? I mean, they have the right to do whatever they want, but usually they don't. They don't make exeda. So therefore, the Ran explains, and you'll see soon in the words of the Rambam and the Alter Rebbe who go in the way of the Ran. When a person puts a piece of wax in the chavis, in the hole, to close the hole, before he notices, that Rabbi Yochanan said, you think you just put it in. You don't even realize that with your hands you went like this. You're telling me there was a hole and you only put a piece of shaiva. Rabbi Yochanan says, I'm not even sure. I think you didn't even notice and you already smeared and you're already chayav chatas. So therefore, that's kula chad exeda. So because of that, they said, you shouldn't also put Vaseline, because today you're going to put Vaseline and tomorrow you're going to put shaiva. Shaiva is also exeda derabanan. But between putting it and smearing it is a half a nanosecond, and that's kula chod exeda. That's what the Ran says, and you'll see a second. That's what the Rambam paskins. You see in a second. That's what the Alter Rebbe paskins. So if you learn the way the Rambam learns, and the way the Alter Rebbe paskins, and the Shulchan Aruch is not so clear, but the Alter Rebbe is saying clearly like the Rambam and the Ran. So then you come out with first thing is that what's the gzeda here? Again, the gzeda is choshesheni loy mechatas. If there's a hole in your barrel and you put in a piece of shaiva, if you put in a piece of shaiva, so we say you won't even notice. Choshesheni loy, in a second you're already smearing. Because of that, Chama you're also not allowed to put in Vaseline. So now I have from this two things. I have from here two kulas, two unbelievable kulas. If I pass them like the Alter Rebbe and like the Rambam, like the Ran, and the Shulchan Aruch seems to be passing this way. But one second. Two unbelievable kulas. One kula is that in general we say if Rabbeinu and Rabbi Ashi made exeda, they're very good. They make exeda. Can't say, you know what? I think that we should also make another exeda that I want. But me and you don't have the right to make exedas that I want. If you send an email to Rabbeinu and Rabbi Ashi and they confirm, they say your exeda is very good. Okay, but me and you don't have the right to make exedas that I want. Now, what was the exeda they made? They made exeda. They said if you have a hole in the chavis, you're going to put in shaiva. Very easy. You're going to come smear it. So therefore, we don't want that. You should also put a Vaseline on it. But what happens? What happens if it's not a case where you're going to put shaiva? There's no hole, and you're not going to. If I have my skin, right? There's no holes in my skin, and no one puts shaiva on their skin. There's no product which is as rough as shaiva. unless you think that it is that Vaseline is as rough as shiva. But I don't think most products are not as rough as shiva. So, so therefore, when did Chacham say you're not allowed to put it? Because it's in the case of there's a hole on a chavis, and the way to really close a hole of a chavis is through shiva, something strong, because shiva is strong, and you're going to put it there, but accidentally you're going to smear it. So they said, no, don't do that, and don't even put Vaseline, because then you're going to put shiva. But on my hand, I'm never going to put shiva on my hand. There's no cream, there's no product out there, unless there is. But in the pashtus, there's no product, at least a skin product for human beings, that's as rough as shiva. So there's no reason to say that this gzeida, the chacham made a gzeida when you have a chavis, and there's a hole in the chavis. You're not allowed to put shiva. And because of shiva, you're not allowed to put shemen av. But with my skin, I'm never going to put shiva on my skin. Which normal person is ever going to put shiva on his skin and start going like this?
You have cracks in your skin.
No, not shiva. You know what shiva is? How rough shiva is? You're going to end up ruining your skin. You're going to have cuts in your skin if you put shiva on your skin. You're never going to put shiva on your skin. Beeswax. So you're never going to do that.
I never understood the simple even the suit that they're talking about. It's like if you order close up the hole in the barrel, so shemen is liquid.
No, it's shemen av biyosa. They had a method. They had a method. You see in Simon Reish Chav Reish Tezvav Tezayin and Orachaim. They had some method that they used to mix like olive oil until it became hard. They had some type of method.
We don't have it today.
No, we don't know what it is. But it's similar.
The same thing with Shabbat. The only way to get Shabbat is by burning the candle, and then it's going to turn liquid.
I know. I think the Shabbat that the Mishnah is talking about is not the Shabbat that we're using in a candle. The Shabbat after you take out the honey, which over there you could take it in your hands. That's what I was saying. The kids that do arts and crafts, they squeeze it and it's workable. You could, but it's
putty, like
it's a little rougher than the putty of the kids. It's a pretty rough thing. It's a product. Yeah, you can buy it on Amazon. The companies that produce a lot of honey end up with a ton of wax. So they sell some of it to the companies
that's the bees wax, the hard wax.
Yeah, the shava,
the royal wax.
Yeah, from the bees store it.
There are two kinds of things that the bees make. There's the honey, and then there's the structure of the
exactly. So that structure gets squeezed and put into boxes and sheets and sell them in sheets like this.
I know.
So that is a pretty rough thing. It's pretty rough. So I'm saying when was the gzeida by a chavis, where that's a pretty rough thing, and people used to put it in the holes in order to stuff it up, and very easily they forgot and they didn't just put it, but they also a little bit rubbed it to get it glued to the doifnei chavis. So that's what Rabbi Yochanan said. Cheshisheni lemechatas, and the Rambam say. So therefore they said it's also losses shava. And because of that, it's also losses shemen av. But on my skin, most products are never going to be as rough as shiva. So on my skin, I'm never going to put shiva. So there's no way to say that Chacham made it just like by a chavis. Chacham said lo yitin shava, v'lachein lo yitin shemen av. That on my skin lo yitin shemen av. Why shema yitin shava? But I'm never going to put shava on my skin. The gzeida was only by a barrel that has a hole, and in order to fix the hole in the barrel, you got to glue that thing to the rest of the surface. So easily it'll come to demiruach. But on my skin, why would you say? And therefore, I think most of the products that we have, unless you find that there is a product, if you hold that Vaseline is like shava, which is I think would be crazy to think that Vaseline is as bad as shiva. The other thing that I see, which is this kiddush, I'm very confident about. The other thing is, I don't see in the words of the Rambam and the Shulchan Aruch and the Alter Rebbe any mention of 3 levels. Rashi, because I think they don't paskin like Rashi. Rashi holds that there is shaiva, which is also the Eraisa, and there is miruach, and something which is also the Rabbanon, and then there's maybe something more, which is mutal gamri. But I don't see any quoting Rashi. I see the poskim today, like the Piskei Chuvas, or paskin. I don't know if you go that way, paskin straight from Rashi. because the Ran and the Rambam disagree with Rashi. And Shulchan Aruch and the Alter Shulchan Aruch Mishabura Paskin like the Rambam. So I should start bringing in a Chumrah because Rashi said that way. I don't know. I'm not so. So therefore, I'm not so confident about that point. But this is my two chidushim out of Rashi today. Therefore, I feel very strongly that any product, most products, I'm not going to say every product, most products is never going to be a problem if you dab it on. When the Mishnah says lo yitain, the Mishnah said lo yitain because if he's going to yitain shava cheshishen lemechatas, therefore lo yitain shava but lo yitain shemenav. But on my skin, I'm never going to put shava on my skin. So why would you say that zeta from the barrel applies to my skin? No, it doesn't apply. Sorry, Rabbi Rabinovich, it doesn't. It doesn't apply. So therefore, I think that the dabbing is a very good eitzah. Whenever you have a doubt if it's watery, you're allowed to smear it. If it's meant to, never mind. If it's watery, you're allowed to dab it. According to the Magen Avraham, and I'm not sure I agree with this, but I'm not sure. Most places agree. If you're smearing it and it's meant to seep into your skin, it's also mutter. But not everyone agrees with the Magen Avraham. But dabbing is the best eitzah. Dabbing it on is the best eitzah.
Let me ask you a question. I know in the winter it's common, people the skin cracks in the hands.
Right. So therefore,
it meant before Shabbos, might not take gauze and smear and Vaseline on the gauze.
No. I said very simple.
Dab it.
If we're going to second the Magen Avraham. Magen Avraham says that if your intention is that your skin should swallow it, then it's mutter. But not everyone agrees with the Magen Avraham. The Alter Rebbe doesn't quote even this Magen Avraham. So I'm not sure everyone agrees with this Magen Avraham. So, but on the other hand, these creams are pretty watery. So between the fact that it's going to go into your skin and it's watery, it's mutter. But if you want to mamish be mahadet and you're still scared and you dab it on, no problem at all. Mamish, no problem, zero problem. But the emphasis, most of these products are pretty watery anyway. But I see Lamashal, Moshe Feinstein thought that even toothpaste, it's hard to imagine why would the toothpaste be mamareach. What can the surface it doesn't get when it doesn't get softer. It's not like shaiva or shemen av is rough. So when you go like this, you keep on going like this, it gets smooth. Shemen av maybe is a little, it's not really rough, but if you're going to allow to do shemen av, you're allowed to do shaiva. But something as soft as toothpaste,
No, but you make
it's not
the gum bleed.
We spoke about it. The person that doesn't have problems with gums and brushes once a day, he's never gonna. If it's gonna happen, it's a psychresha. It's not. It's a So that's the bottom line. We can read it in the Alter Rebbe. Let's.
Well, I have a question before you continue.
You know what? 1 second. I just read one piece. Shulchan Aruch had Moed Zokem. Arech l'tier ein shemach l'kamash v'agum shaba. Keinem amarech shayva izefes kayoytze ben. דברים מסמרכים, עד שהחליק פניהם, הרי זה תולדס ממחי כסויר, שמגר את הצמר הסר מעל האויר, עד שמחליק פוניו, שהוא אב מלאכה, שכן האיסם המשכן כמוי, שנסבור בסומשים בייז. Then the Mishkan, that's the way they used to make the leather. The fikich insights from nekev b'shavik yoytze b'asifila in a machn z'shava b'techa nekev, ala manicha al pi nekev, she'ena nira kemetakin kli b'stim azul, kivin she'ena astima nechnatzes b'techa b'adef nekli, שבמוקם הנקב אליה על פי הכלי, מגבה, וגם אפילו אם אין בשעה וזו משום ניסו טילטל, כלום שכינו לו תשם שבדיאפה, וכן עושה ליסטה בה משום זה לשם במראה. השי ולדווקא בדויפן הכלי סובב הנקב, we're scared that a person is gonna be ממראה, the shiva should stick to the doifne akli, סובב הנקב, עד שייך לפניה, וישחייב משום המחק, אפילו בשום המשמנב, עושה ליסטם גזידה משום שייבה, ועושה לנו מכאן, ולא משנה מסכוון להצניע, אפילו תמד חוקם, שגיבן שייבה, קורב הדובר מועד, כי קורב הלך והדובר מועד בפיך ובבבך לעשויסי. קורב מועד לא ולדחיב חטס, שישכח וימרח כדרכי בכל, כדי שיסתימו מודקס יופה. ולכן אוסר גם בשומן ושמן גזידה משום שייבה. Because by shaiva, it's called that he's going to do mamareach. Therefore, they said also shuman lo yitain, but that's only by a barrel. Lo yitain, because if he's going to put shemenav, he's going to put shaiva and shaiva. But dabbing, I think dabbing is a very good thing to. Dabbing is a very good eitzah. Dabbing is a very good eitzah.
But then you would allow lipstick.
Huh?
You would allow lipstick then.
But very hard to put on the lipstick by dabbing it on.
You're
Lipstick is another problem.
You're saying dabbing just because you're not sure if they hold like Rashi or not. you're pretty confident we don't hold like rocks.
Right.
So then you're just saying,
No, but the problem with there's a Issa Rabbanon of Tzeveya. The problem is that making a color, painting. So that's the problem. The problem is pay, and it's only Issa Rabbanon. Therefore, take whatever. I mean, from women shouldn't do so, but maybe shouldn't make a huge issue if a woman does do so. But like I said, Rabbanon is Issa, but I'm saying it's not the same as Issa Deraisa. One second. I want to mention the kids of the other two shilas because time is short, and if we have another time, we'll talk about barichas. A boy asked me. He heard a shir. I gave a shir once, and the shir was about the importance of wearing a gartel. The Gemara mentions that b'shas tefillah there is a thing to put on a belt, but the poskim say that was only in the days of the Talmud. If you stood in front of a king, you put on a belt. But even if you're standing, if you're going to you'll invite you to the White House, you're not expected to wear a special belt over your begotten. So it has to be a red belt. Bazoi, okay, but still, minik consider me'an shemaisa is to wear a belt.
More above the belt you wear on your pants.
Yeah, Chassidim wear a gartel,
But besides the belt,
a special thing, and it's a bag of tefillah, and that's it. So the boy decided that he's going to start wearing a gartel b'shas tefillah. Problem: he realized that in his class, none of the other boys wear a gartel. So even though their family, that they all wear gartels, and from the bar mitzvah they wear gartel, he's uncomfortable. He's learning in a literature yeshiva, and he's also not chassidish. It's just that this one special anhog he wanted to do. So he asked me if he's allowed to. It's anhog toiva. He's allowed to stop wearing the gartel and just wear it in Beis Menachem Mendel, not in the yeshiva. So the thing is like this: that the din is that if a person does anhog toiva 3 times, it's considered like a neder. The question is if you need a Torah's Nedarim or not. So the boy was a Talmud Chacham. The boy said, 1 second, but I make a Torah's Nedarim in the beginning of the year. And in the beginning of the year, we say, we're mevatel all the Nedarim from last year. And we say that any Anhoga Toiva that I'm going to do next year, that it's, if I'm not going to say it should be B'li Neder, it's as if I said it should be B'li Neder. So the emes is that the poskim talk about this. I mean, if it's bulletproof, if a person would never have to make a Torah's Nedarim, because as long as you came out of Rosh Hashanah to shul, at least once in 2 years, because you do always for the last year, for the next year, you'd always be safe.
Right.
But it's not so poshut because
between that when you say Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur,
we don't know the difference because the minig from one came at a different time of the other. It's complicated. Probably the same thing. So the problem is that the Gemara says tak in the dorim. Haroitza shalois kaima in the dora of kol hashana yamid b'reish hashana v'yom kol ned shani yosed lidur year bottle. But the Gemara says v'lavat shaloy zocha b'shas haneder. You don't have it in your sheet. V'lavat shaloy zocha b'shas haneder. If you remember b'shas haneder, so the question is, what do you mean you remember? You did remember that? It's very complicated sugits in Yeridei Simarei Shudala. So you really have to ask Arov any if you said a Torah Sandorim and then you made a neder and you want to know if that a Torah Sandorim is chal. It's very, very complicated. Probably you have to do a Torah Sandorim at least l'tzad achumra. So but the question over here is that it's not a real neder. This boy did on Hogatoiva 3 times and he didn't say bli neder. So there is a tshuva that Rav Auerbach brings from Rav Sonnenfeld. Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld was the Rav of Yerushalayim, the Yeshiva Yoshon, the what we know today, the Eida Charedis, that stamp, the Badatz. That's all. It's really it's not. It's sort of it's him. It's Rav Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld. It's considered the Poisek of Yerushalayim. So someone asked him if you could say that if it wasn't a real neder, only on Hogatov, a minig, could he say that he relied that on Erev Rosh Hashanah he made that he said that if I'm going to do on Hogatov Aloyis Naisi Sheyeh Bli Neder, and I did 3 times, that I'm being mevatlet. He said yes, you could be relying on that. Because if it was a real neder, it's very complex. The Gemara says that the Shelo Yezach B'Shas Neder. But this is not a real neder. This is something that it's an hogatov because you did it 3 times. If you made it tonight b'chatchila, so it's not a neder. So the thing is, the question is when this boy started to do that hogah? Because if he didn't do a Torah, say it was the year of his bar mitzvah. Say his bar mitzvah was a Chodesh Cheshvan, and that year Rosh Hashanah he didn't do a Torah Nadar. Even if he did, it's a question if it was already mufal samachlish or not. If it worked, it didn't work. So say he didn't do a Torah Nadar. Was the and then Rosh Chodesh Cheshvan was his bar mitzvah, and Rosh Chodesh Kislev he started putting on a gartel. So then he does have to do a Torah Nadar. He does have to do a Torah. Otherwise, he doesn't have to do a Torah Nadar. My nephew sent me a picture. There was a Pope in 1553.
You had photos? You had photos back then?
No, he sent me a photo now. But of an event that happened in one of the squares in Venice in 1553. There was an edict from on Desitin and Vaseline. And sent me the pictures last week on Desitin and Vaseline. No, Desitin and Vaseline today. So I guess they did it before. So anyway, it was on Friday. They went to the square, and that was a place. There was an exact place that's marked where in 1553 they took the books of Talmud and they burnt it. You have to realize how many Shas do you think were even printed by then? How many volumes of Shas existed Bachlal in the world at that point?
The Gutenberg press just came out then.
Just came out.
And it took about 100 years before all of these shots were printed.
So could you imagine? And they had a ton of slaughter, and they burnt it. They were handwritten, no? They were handwritten, but in 1523 is when they did that goy, the Daniel Bamberg, whatever that they,
I think
Bamberg, that he printed the shas. So they took a lot of shas, and they burnt it. So the boys went and they made a siyam shas, and they were dancing in the place. You see a guy walking, they don't care what. No, it's in Venice. It's in Venice. They came back to yeshiva, and they were all excited. And one of the people in the community said, "You made kaddish, and there was not even 10 people there." One of the people that were there, you think he's Jewish, but he's a goy. Oh, all of a sudden there was a whole firestorm. This guy is a goy, he's a Jew. So, but this person in the community claims that this guy is a goy. So he's asking me, and then now the question is: next time this guy comes, can they give?
The guy.
He says he's Jewish. Obviously, we have to look into more of the details. I mean, I'm in contact with him, so we'll find out. But that was the question. I told him, as of now, as a rule of thumb, Bechlal, it's a mile b'yuchs. The Rambam says in Yitzurei Bia 13:10 that in Eretz Yisrael those days everyone has a cheskes Yisrael. Chutz la'aretz, the person has to bring a raya that he's a yid, and then he could get married.
What's
a mile b'yuchs?
What's considered a raya? What raya?
It's a separate question. It's considered with raya mothers. But
I mean, you ask all the boys asking this too. You mother Jewish? Yeah, here's my question.
Because we're not.
That's about it.
We're not in Masada Kedushin. The same person that you're putting on film, you made a bracha with them. If they asked you to officiate for the wedding, you're mechuyev to check in the yichus. So stay tuned for the question. We'll find out. No, you need a sort of. You need 10 people to should be a.
Well, I think it's
not a bracha. Yeah. What was the question?
Question is, we're talking the whole time in Maria. If you have a hole in the barrel, you want to close it. It's not bonnet, you're building something new. So the whole thing has to be changed if it's bonnet. It's not in Maria.
Are you asking me a good question? Bonnet sometimes has a lot of. Bonnet has to be.
It was something, you have a hole there. You recreate it with one piece. So you have to cover it up with something. So you bonnet. I think it's. Would take off all the.
No, they didn't think it's bonnet because there's a lot of a little bit of shayva. something which is not mechubel karka.
But you're covering the hole and it's a different thing.
Inshallah doesn't think it's buying, as you see. Okay, let's have a great day, a great week. Chaya Soda. This week is Chaya Soda. Every day we're living with Soda. And Soda, and we know from this week's Parsha that Cheshvan, it belongs to the Jewish people. But before Shabbos, they were playing on the radio, this guy Mike Huckabee. He said, I don't know, there's no such place in the world called the West Bank. There's Yehuda and the Shomron, and if you read the Bible, you know exactly who owns this piece of land.
By the way, bought a house in Efrat.
Unbelievable.
Really?
Unbelievable.
A few times, yeah.
The guy's not ashamed. And the radio was saying, what a crazy thing. What's going to happen with the two-state solution?
Rabbi, it's so good too.
What's going to happen with the two-state solution?
No, but that's